So I'm pretty peeved about my car. The battery maybe has died. The electricity in the whole car didn't work. I couldn't open my trunk. I couldn't
Today?
unlock other doors.
Coming here right
coming
now?
here. Chuck had to give me a ride.
Okay.
I had to do some stuff to get that ride.
Oh.
Yeah. Not as bad as I thought it would be. In fact, pretty good.
Well, in this situation, why are you pointing at me? Like, see, don't you wish you didn't turn that down? Yikes. So you have a dead battery.
Yes, at least a dead battery,
Yeah.
if not more wrong with the electrical system of the car. But Chuck wanted me to tell you because I had electrical issues in this car 8 years ago.
Okay.
Yeah, a while ago. And so we're out for dinner, and
How many squirrels live in your car?
live. We went
Dine in your
out
car.
for dinner, and it was
died.
pouring rain. We came back out, and it was like, oh, like the back seat is wet. That's weird. And then we
the
got in the
stuff with
car.
Chuck.
The windows had all lowered.
Okay.
Electric windows.
Yeah.
I didn't
They
lower
just
them.
randomly
Just
did
random.
it.
And
So it started to rain, and so
Yeah.
all of Brad's windows lowered, which I think is funny.
I did not think it was
I
funny.
think you paid extra for that package.
So-
Rain sensing windows.
Yes. Yeah, and it would be great if they worked the opposite way.
Yeah.
exactly.
And so, I think we had to stop at Chuck's parents' house for something, and I was going through I couldn't get the trunk to shut. Like, it was that kind of, frustrating, little things.
Yeah.
Seems so big. And I turned...
That
and I
was
just-
set in the back seat as well.
I biffed my keys, just threw them, down the driveway across the street.
Okay.
Because I was so mad.
This is
And
very staplery.
I wanted to do it today.
very
Yeah, it is.
staplery.
It is very similar to throwing a stapler, except
Yeah.
I'm not in my office.
Yeah, and then I think the best part of it is it is the impotent rage of throwing
Yes.
it. I get that.
Yep.
We've talked about this idea of you know what I mean?
Yep.
I say it's like, I got to go punch a tree because it's
Yep.
dumb, it doesn't do anything, and
Yep.
it only hurts you,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yes.
Depending on the size of the tree.
Yeah.
But in this case, what
that
delights
bonsai.
me is you throwing them in
Yeah.
that rage, but then moments later having to go look for your keys.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're just standing in some tall grass going, "You got fucking
Why did I throw the keys? And
Yeah.
I know when I'm winding up to yeet these keys, I know that it doesn't
Biff
help the
and yeet were
situation.
Yeah.
the two verbs you used so far,
What
right?
are you reading some sort of Gen Z book right now? I'm reading a YA novel.
Yes.
Yeeting and skeeting. And,
yeah.
And I'm like, clearly this is a one-time occurrence, and then was helping someone move, and it's misting, so it's not pouring rain.
Okay.
Same thing happens. Windows go down, and I'm like standing on the back of the moving truck, at loading things in, and I look, and I'm like, it's weird that light is reflecting off the windows of the car in front of me and behind me, but not my wind. You've got to be kidding me! And I stomp over to the car and do that, and I'm like, I basically. With dinner, I'm like, am I sitting on my keys wrong? Is there
Right,
you hold this button on the key fob and the windows roll down? They told me they disabled that feature. I
Okay.
don't know. I mean, it hasn't happened since.
Okay.
It's a weird.
It's such a
an
dumb,
interesting
weird
feature.
problem.
What a
Right.
feature.
I was gonna say, what the stuff that kills me about Brad when something dumb happens is it's always over the top in a way that's not realistic. There's the story about the time we went out and someone hooked me up with cheese fries, and I'm like, I'm a regular here. So Brad went to his regular
right,
place
right.
the next
Yeah.
day, and he wanted to see if they would hook him up, and they charged him twice for the same drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And the idea that's what's the problem with your car? It's whenever it started raining, all my windows would lower by themselves,
Yeah.
and it happened twice in a row.
Yeah,
That's funny to me.
Again, well, it's
I
not
get
your
it.
windows. I think Mel Brooks said, tragedy is when I cut my finger, and comedy is when you fall in an open sewer and die.
Yeah,
and that's, that was me falling in an open sewer.
Wait a minute. Am I to assume that they diagnosed the issue and it was a feature on your key fob?
I don't know, but it didn't happen after that.
But I thought you said they told me that they disabled
They told me they disabled it and it wouldn't happen again, and it couldn't happen again. And it didn't happen again. And now, all right, so
I'm so sorry.
It's all right.
It's so strange.
The way
Yeah.
the interaction you guys just had, everything in my head that was like, possible stuff we talk about on this episode, all of it's gone.
yeah,
Somehow my back windows rolled down.
Yeah.
And it all flew out.
yeah, that's tough.
That's okay. So that's not the issue this
No,
time.
the issue. All right, so last week I started having issues. My backup camera stopped working, and
Okay.
fortunately, I'm old enough that I can survive without a backup camera for a little while. But I was taking my car in for its checkup anyway. Let's get it looked at, and I waited and waited, and they said our website is down, so we can't get to our wiring diagrams, so we can't check. You'll have to bring it back in. And I said, that's fine, no problem.
The website is down?
The Ford website was down, and they couldn't get to the wiring diagrams for my car.
I don't trust this. This is why people say
All of it.
Ford found on road dead.
I mean, yes. I fix it again, Tony.
I can't believe you didn't incredibly specifically hunt down the most reliable vehicle in the class that you have. I would picture.
Yeah.
Did you do a spreadsheet when you bought your car?
I was in a rush because I had a 2012 Ford and then parked it outside of Chuck's apartment when he was living in Providence. And a drunk driver smashed into another car that smashed into my car, totaled it.
Okay.
And my insurance was like, yep, we'll pay for a rental. I'm like, I can relax, not worry about anything, and just get a new car. And then my insurance company's like, all right, you've got another 24 hours on the rental. And I'm like, I haven't even looked at cars yet.
Okay.
And so,
How long did you have it for?
I don't know, like 4 days. And it was, it was not a matter of and truthfully, it's been good. Like my maintenance, I've changed the oil, I've done what I needed to do, and it hasn't had a ton of problems, but
Other than randomly opening
yeah,
whenever it was wet
right.
outside.
Well, that's one in 9 years.
I just
fair.
love how bizarre that issue
Yeah.
is. It's just like
And
such a funny thing.
So today I walked out and I checked the mail and I'm beeping my little fob and the item.
Ew, gross. When you check the mail?
Look, it's
God.
it's Gen Z slang,
Hold on, let me
guys.
look through
You wouldn't
these
understand.
blinds here.
Is he beeping his little fob?
Beeping his little fob again.
Beep, 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 beep.
Sometimes it blinks, but then also sometimes it does beep.
Well, yeah, it was neither blinking nor beeping.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, oh, that's weird. I don't even hear the doors unlock, whatever. And I put the key in, nothing happened. I'm like, all right. And so I was like, all right, well, I don't want to be late for this, which I was. And I'm like, oh, let me call an Uber. I'm like, it makes more sense to contact Chuck. And Chuck was like, do you want me to try and jump it? I said, that'd be great.
And then he got a running start.
Yes. And he did. He jumped it.
Wow.
Amazing.
Oh, I kind of climbed
Yeah,
over it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, because you wanted to
Crawled.
do a cool slide.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, more
And
of a slither.
It didn't
yeah, it's a
work.
slither.
Yeah.
Because he went to do it, and his pants fell a little bit.
Yeah, right.
And it was bare cheek
Yeah.
on hood. So
Yeah.
it was very screechy,
Yeah.
just streaky, like
It hurts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so now
Now
I'm
the
like,
hood
all right,
ornament's gone.
we'll get it fixed. It will be fine. But for now, I am like livid.
Oh, he gets consumed with these tiny
I
things.
do. I do.
It's
Yeah,
so funny.
I
Like
can see, because right now you are what I would call hunched with rage.
That's not truthfully my default posture these days.
one of the things I always think about is the idea of like I haven't really baked this into a fully cooked idea, but the idea of what I would refer to as like everyday superpowers. One of them that I think we all probably envy in a human is the ability to fall asleep whenever they want.
Oh, sure.
yeah.
Like that's an everyday
Oh, my
superpower to
goodness.
me because,
Yeah.
and the reason I refer to it that way is because some people are just born with like, yeah, I'm gonna go to sleep,
Yeah.
and go to sleep, and then some people are just born without the ability to do it, and we all have these different things where some people get really anxious in traffic, and
Yes.
some people don't.
Yeah.
It's just all these different things, and I think that one of the things that's really funny about me and Brad is like, I couldn't care less about stuff like that. I don't give a shit. I don't know why. It's never
Yeah.
bothered me. And like, of course, if I had like very specific things, honestly, I wouldn't even care. I'd be like, oh, this thing happened. As soon as it's something that's completely out of my control and is also pretty normal, it's like, oh, your car had a problem after this many years. What are you gonna do?
I will say
Yeah.
in my experience of palling around with you.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. I'm not sure. So it depends on the day.
Yeah.
I think you have a good. You're right. It rolls right off your back when the car itself has a thing.
Yeah.
The second it goes to where it needs to be fixed, and you have to talk to a representative of that place, that's where it all comes rolling right back up onto your back, and you have a huge.
Oh, that's true.
issue.
You are constantly threatening suicide in front of service workers.
Here's
Constantly.
You did have what some are calling a debacle with the last time you had your car brought into a place.
See, the truth is, it really depends on the demeanor of the person. The actual last time I had my car brought in was last week. I was shooting with my friend Sal Volcano, and we had a problem with my car.
Like at a gallery or.
And so what I did was I don't know if I told you this, I left my safety hazards on for like a few hours. My battery died. It happened to be the fact that the battery was already weak, so it kind of killed it. And I went to Pep Boys. It was very strange. Like AAA jumped me. The next day, my car wouldn't start again. So I had luckily I have this battery that I have that can jump a car. Jumped it. Went out to dinner. Went out to lunch with my friend, another friend, and then I had to jump it again. And I'm like,
Val Solcano.
it was Quinn. It was Brian Quinn. So I had to jump it again. I'm like, they jumped my car last night. Why would the battery just keep having an issue? And I was like, I'm just driving straight to a Pep Boys because it's clearly like a battery thing. It's not like I need to go to a mechanic probably. Went there, talked to the guy. He's like, yeah, we tested your battery. I think your battery's dead for good. And I was like, oh, does that make sense? I'm like, it was fine before this. He's like, yeah. He's like, if it's on its last legs and it dies like that, it can be done. He's like, they last about 5 years. And I'm like, oh, I got the car in 2019. And he's like, all right. He's like, it's going to take an hour and a half. I'm like, to order one and then we'll put it in. He's like, you're just going to have to wait. And I was like, all right. And we had a really pleasant time. He's a good dude.
Sure.
So that was the actual last time.
Okay.
Before that, are you talking about when I wrote the thing on the sign? What are you talking about?
I don't know. You just had a whole thing. I don't think we need to get into the details.
Well, I was
going
to say I fight.
We've already heard one full experience
Well,
of a garage
so that
from
was
you.
the last time where it was not that,
Sure.
not a debacle.
We
I
haven't
think-
even started this episode, by the way.
I think I don't like when people assume things. A lot of times mechanics, for some reason, you know how we recently talked about the idea of GameStop employees and how they're kind of short-tempered and a little bit condescending to employees. I think mechanics tend to do that too, and they do
Okay.
it to me. And I have had a lot of mechanics do that to me, and I don't like that.
Yeah,
And
don't scoff at Chuck.
I don't like the
Yeah.
scoffing.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, there was specifically there was a time where a guy came to my house and my tire was like almost flat, like, and he's like, "It's just cold. It's just cold." It was a AAA guy, and I'm like, "It's not just cold. There's no way it's just cold." And my PSI is 3, and he's like, "Dude," he's like, this, and we had this big fight, and of course there was a nail in my tire. But when they're condescending and annoyed
Yeah.
at me when I'm bringing them service work, I get super annoyed.
Yeah.
Yes, that is absolutely true. Yes, that's true. But like right now, Brad is like, "What could this fucking be? This fucking," and
Yeah.
I'm just like, it's a necessity of owning a car. There's going to be a problem once in a while. You got to do your best, you know. Of course, if it's like I'm supposed to fly out in 5 minutes, obviously that's a
Yeah.
different thing, and it's a big thing.
Of course, yeah.
But that stuff kind of rolls off me. Remember when I brought you to the airport?
Yeah, and you guys got that flat tire.
You get that
yeah.
crazy flat tire.
Yeah.
That was a lot. I was annoyed. You know why though? I had to shit real bad.
Yes, he did.
That's-
Oh my gosh,
that's
he
a different-
waddled for miles.
Miles. Try waddling for a mile.
Nah, I'm good.
Try waddling in my shoes for a mile
I don't
before
wanna-
you judge.
I don't want to. I don't know what's in those shoes. You know?
You can guess.
Yeah.
Well, it's the X factor. I think it's the X factor. It's on top of the problem.
Okay.
When there's an issue on top of the problem,
Okay.
that's where I get to turn into the man who doesn't like it.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah.
that's where I become the super villain. Maybe.
Oh, okay. Origin story.
I like that even in this, you're like, no, I'm the super villain.
Yeah. That's when
I'm
I
not just
that's
a
when I become the
regular
most
everyday
Well,
important.
it's a
villain.
superhero, so I
As
gotta go
super
super villain.
villain.
All right,
Yeah.
I'm the run of the mill villain.
Yes.
Millen villain.
Millen
Oh no, we're going to Milli Vanilli.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Fun Bearable. I'm Brad Rohr.
Ray Harrington.
Well, he was saying that for the Milli Vanilli joke. You guys weren't looking at me. I was mouthing it like I was pretending to lip sync it.
That's
good.
That's a little Milli Vanilli joke. It's
good.
Yeah.
I'm Chuck. Vanilli Staten.
Okay.
The third.
Yeah.
The third.
yeah, the third.
No, there was originally four. There was Willie, Nilly, Millie, and Vanilli.
Vanilli, yeah.
yeah.
Nilly and Vanilli got in a lot of fights.
A lot of those older acts, ACTS, I don't have a great handle on. Like Millie Vanilli, I don't know what that is.
It was before our time.
I think
Well,
so.
I mean, it was before
Brad?
your time.
You were
yeah.
just like, it's too loud.
Like
Yes.
Millie Vanilli is
Yeah.
famous for lip syncing in some capacity.
Yes.
Besides that, got a blank slate up here.
Oh man, baby, don't forget my number.
I won't, but
All
I
right.
want to learn about Millie Vanilli
Yeah.
too.
It's weird because that's the only song of theirs I remember. I know they had several hits, and I think the issue wasn't necessarily them just lip syncing their live performances, but it's that they hadn't sung the songs on the album. And so they were just two guys who were faking it the entire time
Oh wow!
and, you know,
Yeah.
accepting the credit for it.
That's an interesting scandal.
Yes. Because they had such a unique look. The producers were like, hey, let's get solid music behind these guys and we can push them as stars.
Yeah.
That's quite a plan.
And that never happens.
Yes.
That almost never happens.
Well, I think the idea of doing it and then being like they have no musical talent, we'll have someone else sing in the studio and on stage. Is
Yes.
pretty odd.
Oh, it's
That's
weird.
funny.
You know, lip sync on stage, I get it. You're dancing, whatever.
Yeah.
But the fact that you didn't sing the songs initially,
Yeah, that's pretty strange.
yeah.
I say go even further. Have
Yes.
clearly voices that would never come out of that
Right.
body.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And then do it that way. I
Yeah.
think that would be really fun.
That would be fun.
I want to see a like a little boy man,
Okay.
right?
Boy band or boy man?
Either one.
Okay.
A boy band is made up of boy men.
This is,
Men.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I said men.
okay.
What is this right now? What are we doing? Are we waiting for the podcast?
Yeah, yeah,
Is it like arriving in a little while?
yeah. Yeah.
Is that what it is?
I think so.
Are we in a Greyhound bus station for podcasts?
Yeah, I think
and we're
so.
just waiting to hear like fun bearable, right?
I think so.
Yeah?
I like Brad's window story. I was very
Yeah.
excited to start with that.
No, so boy men, I think you have them on the stage, and then like a Barry White voice comes out.
Right, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Justin Bieber standing on stage, and when he was Lil Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
Not big boy tough Justin Bieber that we know today.
Mm.
And then all of a sudden, you know, sexual healing is coming out of his mouth.
Do you think it's possible for that to happen without it coming off as a comedy beat?
No,
I don't think so either.
because I think it's only comedy.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
I think so too.
I mean, I think about like if you want me to do like I'll lip sync to like Ice-T or old NWA stuff,
That'd be good.
and that would give you what you're looking for.
Can I ask you a question, Brad?
Yes,
if you
please.
were lip syncing to a gangster rap
Yes.
song,
Yes.
and the word was in it, would you lip sync the word?
No.
No,
No.
So you'd be like, you.
I would.
And if you don't, and you're like,
I-
and if you don't know, now you know.
yeah. I would. I
You
would.
just sort of
I would like
purse those lips.
cover my mouth and not say anything, like so you can't even see if I'm lip syncing in that moment.
so in other words, you
But if
could
you
be,
cover your mouth, I feel like you are saying
exactly.
Yeah, but I'm-
gusto.
Yeah, if
or
you-
I'm
if
looking
you-
away. I'm
If you
doing
weren't
whatever.
doing it, why would you cover your mouth?
Well,
Think
because
about
because then you're like la di da. Just so you're super clear, you're not saying it.
Yeah.
You know, it disrupts the flow
What I
of
do
my
is
art.
I cross my arms and I shake my head no, no, no when it happens. That's what I do.
Is it sign?
Yeah.
I did want to bring.
The sign does have it.
All
I
caps.
repurposed the sign from Die Hard 3.
Yes.
It's the one, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually wanted to ask you about something, both of you.
Okay.
So I was in Fall River yesterday. I went to the Raynham Flea Market with my good buddy Jordan, and we were looking at
Fleas.
fleas
Yep.
and markets, and we found ourselves in Fall River. And I said, I want to get a fun coffee. I like when I'm in a new place, not new, but when a place I'm not in often. I'm like, I don't want to go to a chain. I want to find an independent coffee shop. That's more fun to me. It's better to support them, whatever. And so I looked around, and I didn't realize this, but there's I guess I didn't realize I was close to it. There's a Lizzie Borden themed coffee shop in Fall River.
Oh, no.
Right? The door handle is an axe.
Is it? Jesus. People died.
Yeah.
Well, here's the question.
Yeah.
It actually goes further than this, and I want to know what your opinion is.
Okay.
So I remember when I went there, two very nice ladies were running it. They were older and they were very sweet. They have a whole lot of stuff of Lizzie Borden in there. When they were opening it, I remember, and Brad might remember, I'm not sure. It was like a couple years ago. They opened it right next to the Lizzie Borden house.
Yes.
They like bought the business next door, that whatever. The people who own the house, which is now like a museum and has tours, tried to sue the people opening the coffee shop for saying that they're infringing on their copyright to Lizzie Borden.
Okay.
What do we think about the idea of A, capitalizing on a murder, and then being
It's
like,
2025. That's just like
Yeah.
a lot of content now. Is capitalizing on murder.
well, then it's like being like, so you're not allowed to capitalize on this murder.
Right.
I find that to be kind of strange.
Sure.
What do you think?
It's weird, but I guess in this idea, perhaps the suit meant something else, but was interpreted as what you're saying right now, right? Like that they own basically like the rights to the Lizzie Borden murder. I could see an argument in court that because they opened it right next to the Lizzie Borden house, which has its own business that it's operating and is a Lizzie Borden themed coffee place, that it does send a message to potential customers like this is the same business.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
It does.
Same business. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, it's weird because it's like,
It's not like a funny answer, but I think that
Well,
might be what the argument was.
is it like I think of Salem and all the witch stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but is that all kind of the same thing? Like, what's the difference between those?
Well, I think because Salem is a town, anything that's in the town, I think there's an understanding that it's different people. It's like if you had a museum. You had
Abraham Lincoln.
no, you're Chuck Staten, not Abraham Lincoln. What was
tell
why
lies?
did you say Abraham Lincoln?
Well, I was thinking like maybe it's a museum of Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
All right.
The theme for it.
You said it so fast. You had one in your mind ready
Well, I
to
was
go. I
thinking-
would have a little museum of Abraham Lincoln.
Here are the blueprints.
All right,
like-
so this is a log cabin. That's
Yeah.
important to
I'm a
remember.
fan of the logs.
Yeah.
Oh, he did what? Never mind. No. Like if you had, you know how there are some places where it's like there's this house or this this building somebody owns and they made a museum,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
If you had that and it was called Chuck's Oddities, Chuck's Curio Shop, right?
Okay.
And it was a museum. Shouldn't say shop. That's rude. And you had that and it was called Chuck's Museum.
Yep.
And then someone else bought the house next to you.
Yeah.
And turned it into a coffee shop and they called it Chuck's Coffee Shop.
Yeah.
How would you feel?
Well, it's different though because if it's like, well, this is where Abraham Lincoln's birthplace, and I made something based on him, and then they made something based on him right next to it. It's a little different than like naming it after me or something. It's not really. It's almost like we're capitalizing on a historical site, like Plymouth Rock. If they had like a hotel right next to it, that
But
was
somebody
like,
owns the Lizzie Borden house and does, has it open as a museum type place.
Yeah.
Because that's what they've done, right?
Yeah.
And so it is essentially it's their business to run this thing, and somebody else came over and opened a coffee shop right next to it. It's weird. It's a weird situation.
weird thing.
Yeah.
Because it's like
Then it gets into like what is public domain in that
Right.
regard. You
well,
know
it's
what
like
I mean?
yeah, it's like it's interesting too because it's like, does the proximity to the place matter?
Right.
Is it? What if it's a street over?
Yeah.
I'm going to open a Charles Manson tea shop. He didn't do anything out here. I think people will be interested in the name.
Do you
Marketing.
like that? Okay.
Yeah,
yeah.
but if I won't take the idea.
Thank you.
That's fair.
Ray might.
You know what? Are you going to open a Charles Manson hotel next to my Charles Manson tea shop?
No, I won't. I promise I won't.
No, I'm opening a running store in Boston.
Okay.
And it's not. People are upset about it.
Okay.
It's a theme. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I got it. I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
It took
yeah.
a second.
Yeah.
I got there.
Yeah.
I got
Yeah.
there.
And we're doing bracelets that say Boston Strong ? Right?
Ooh.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I'm doing right
Helter
now.
skelter.
Yeah, I think it's just a funny thing.
How was the coffee? How many whacks would you give it on a scale of 1 to 40?
40.
Yes.
40 whacks. Lizzie Borden's a weird character.
How many chops?
Out of 40?
Out of 40.
Yes, of course.
40 whacks.
I think-
Standard measurement
think-
scale.
I think everyone should support independent businesses.
Okay.
I think that's great.
So
to go
the
somewhere.
place had a really good personality? Is that what you're
They
saying?
did a really great. You know
Yeah.
what?
Or in comedy terms, when somebody's like, "How are they?" and you go, really nice guy.
Yeah.
Super nice guy. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. I think they should add cold brew to their menu. And maybe I would.
Okay.
That's the
That's
thing
true.
that I
you
like
are,
the
you
most.
are a cold brew boy.
So I'd like to
Yeah.
go back and get it.
How could they theme this out? The
Cold brew? Oh, easy.
Okay.
Let's think about. First of all, let's think about the
Let's
foam.
like us. Let us.
Yeah,
Oh, it's
right,
like now
we're
we're
paid
doing like a
consultants.
communal. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I
That's
think
fair.
so.
Yeah.
I think that we first of all we got to get cold foam on here because we want some places to put things. We want some ideas. We got axes. What else we got?
That's it.
That's
pretty
really
much
it.
it.
Body,
Yeah.
body parts.
Family murder.
Yeah.
Is that like a dead daddy cold brew or something like that?
She's like it's coconut mixed with caramel.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All
yeah,
right.
yeah, that
All
makes
right.
sense.
Yeah. Excuse me, your cold chopper. What is that? Yeah.
yeah.
It's a Arabica beans.
It's a fun place. I like the coffee shop.
Yeah.
It's clearly a house and not a shop. And so they're like, oh, bathrooms in here, and you go into a regular home's kitchen with like
Yeah.
an oven and a refrigerator, and the bathroom has a shower in it. It was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
I found it to be a strange time.
I don't love that. Makes me think of like sometimes as a comic, I'll get put up in places, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And every once in a while, it will be an inn, and I have to look it up. Where I'm like, is this I get my room?
Yeah.
Or is this I'm going to somebody's house?
Yes.
Right?
Really?
I don't like it.
So you're
I
not
don't
talking about
it.
like a comedy condo. You're talking about someone
No.
in someone's house.
Yeah, I mean, condos are condos, but that's different because it's like I have now either a key or a key code, and
In
I'm
your own
going
space.
in. Yeah, right, and that's fine. And I know that wherever I am in this space, like no one else is going to be here, right?
Yeah.
But every once in a while, like recently, I had to go. I was in Auburn, Maine, right,
Okay.
doing a show up there. It was a super fun show. Everything was good. I like doing shows at the River City Comedy Club. That's right there. It's really fun. But this time they put me up in this place that was like an inn, and I showed up and I was like, oh, this is a house. This is an old Victorian home, and now I'm gonna be staying in a room. Right? I had my own bathroom, which
Okay.
is good.
Yeah.
But it like the lady that was there, she was super nice, super
Yep.
welcoming. But there is a part of me that when I came in after the show, I'm coming in kind of late. I feel weird because I'm coming in like it feels like I'm staying at someone's house.
Right.
And I'm coming in late, like, oh no. And she was sitting in like a little living room and she was watching SNL at the time because that's when I came in. It was a Saturday night and
Yeah.
she's watching it. And like I had to knock on the door to come in
Wow.
because they had locked the main door, and I was just like, "Hi," and she was super nice.
Yeah.
Everything was fine, but I felt like I was like
that's-
putting her out. You know what I mean?
Oh, one time my ex-girlfriend was like, because I used to commute to Jersey to film with Tell 'em Steve Dave, and she was like, "Oh, I got us an Airbnb this time," and I was like, "Okay." She's like, "It's near the beach," and I never would choose to stay in an Airbnb that's just a room.
Oh hell no, hell no. Any Airbnb I've ever gotten, full thing, whatever
Yeah.
whatever you click where it's like you get the whole place.
Yeah. And I didn't know. So we got to this, and she didn't tell me. We got to this place. Maybe she wasn't even paying attention. I don't know. We got there, and a guy opened the door, and I'm like, and he's like watching TV, and there's people, and I'm like, and he shows us to the room, and he's like, so what time are you guys coming home tonight from? Because he was like, what are you doing? And we had to tell him I was filming, and he's like, what time are you coming home? And I said, we'll probably finish around 12, so I'm guessing like by 1. He's like, oh man, really late, huh? Well, I guess that's okay. I don't have to work tomorrow. And I was like,
That's what I'm
I'm
saying.
like, what the fuck?
I hate it.
Insane.
I was like, this is. I hated it, and
Same reason I don't do bed and breakfast.
Yeah.
I don't like it. Sure, you can say it's like a romantic thing or whatever. I'm like, this is weird. Did Nantucket a few years back with another comic, and we had to stay the night at this bed and breakfast, and it was uncomfortable. And like the woman that owned the place flat out said, "Oh yeah, you're the comedians, right? Because he booked this for you. Blah blah blah." What time is your show? Are you going out after? And like started asking us all these questions like it's my nana or
Right,
something.
right.
Exactly.
And then she said, well, just make sure because we lock the door at 11.
Wow.
And I'm like, oh, okay. Right. And it was like we had to kind of hustle back to the place after the show. And it was really weird. It was uncomfortable in there. It was too cold, and if I felt weird saying, hey, it's pretty cold in here, you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
can you turn up the heat in your home. And then it was one of those bed and breakfasts where like everything's old. The bed was a 4-post bed with like the insane the tallest bed I've ever seen. I'm a 6'7" man, and I was like, this is absurd. It had steps.
Wow.
They had a little step
I
thing.
would love to
next
see
to
you
it.
walking up steps because the bed is so tall.
It's crazy. And I'm like, am I Ebenezer fucking Scrooge right now going to bed? It was so crazy. I felt like putting a nightcap on.
Yeah.
I called Brad, asked to borrow his.
They're putting the warming pans in it. Yeah.
But it was so crazy because I remember being in that bed and I'm like, I think this bed is Victorian. And it was the loudest, creakiest, and I'm a fat guy. I was like, please don't let this bed break. Please don't let this bed break. I don't want to be the guy that broke the bed in the bed and breakfast.
Oh, that's hilarious.
It was awful. Also, like, I'm good. I don't need the breakfast. I'm fine, right? I just want to stay at a place where I go, you know, hi, like that. As I walk by the front desk, oh, hi, you know, something like that. And then go to my room and do my own business.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I completely agree.
I'm going to go up there and, what was it? Beat my little fob.
Yeah.
No, I completely agree.
And please, please
No.
don't beep your little fob. Please. Not after 11. Not after 11. The pipes can't handle
and
it.
certainly not in the shower.
The house, the place we stayed, you opened the door to the hallway, which had a bathroom, and the guy's room was across from us, and he slept with the door open, and I could just see his foot the whole night.
Oh, God. I hate it. I hate it. I also don't like in those types of things, like an Airbnb, or I am glad that we're kind of seeing Airbnb, like the view of it turn to like, fuck this, because it got in shitified, right?
Yes.
It did the usual thing. So now an Airbnb costs like basically the same or more than a hotel. And once you add on the fees and the cleaning and the craziness of like, is there a camera in here?
Yeah.
All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
What drives me crazy is like the little list of quirks that the place has.
Yes.
It also counts for bed and breakfast. It counts for Airbnbs. Like, I'm paying money, and then you give me a little fucking laminated list of like, now when you go to the bathroom, and if you close the door on the bathroom off of the living room, it won't latch unless you have to turn to the left. You have to pull, then push to the right, and then it'll latch. The lock doesn't work, but that's okay because once you do that, you can't open it from the outside, so it's fine. And it's stuff like that where I'm like, what are you? What?
Yeah.
I know.
How about you just fix it?
Just fix that. Yeah.
Also, if it starts raining, all the windows will roll down. That's a feature.
I tend to do hotels by default, and then it's like, you know, if it's like, okay, a bunch of us went to New Hampshire one time. It was like 7 of us, and we got like a big cabin with a ton of rooms.
No, that makes sense.
And that's more fun. But like, it's especially when you're traveling as like a couple or a single. It's really tough for me to prioritize the idea of looking at like an Airbnb over a hotel just because of the stuff you have to learn.
It's tough too because like I have Kalina and I, and then we have our son Finn.
Yeah.
And so when we do travel for like a family thing, it does make more sense to get like an Airbnb.
Yeah.
You know, separate bedrooms because
that makes sense.
Yeah, you can get hotels like we usually default to a 1-bedroom suite hotel because otherwise Finn goes to bed at 8, and then we would have to be sitting motionless with the lights off.
Yeah, I know.
Right? Going, yeah, cool. You know what I mean? That kind of thing.
Course.
So we try and get stuff like that. I mean, there are some places I've stayed that have been great and wonderful.
Yeah.
But it is starting to turn into a thing. I think the thing I don't like about Airbnb is in the back of my mind, no matter what, even when I've never had like a terrible experience at an Airbnb, but no matter what, when I'm arriving there for the first time, there's a thought in the back of my head going, maybe you aren't staying there.
Yeah.
You know, maybe you can't, maybe it's fake, or maybe something happened, or maybe this person's like pulling the rug, you know, whatever it is.
Yeah.
There is an uncertainty to it that I really don't like.
Yeah, you're not walking into a building with a billion rooms, and you know they're going to figure out whatever the issue is.
Yeah, and
they're
a
walking to a singular
corporate
place.
structure. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and you can't go talk to somebody and they're like, "Oh, super sorry about that. We'll take care of everything." You know what I mean?
I don't follow the Airbnb subreddit or anything, but it pops up once in a while with like the nightmare stories of stuff, and they're
Yeah.
so crazy. Like actually, our buddy Rupert, he and our friend Steve, who is his co-host on Reviewing History, they went away for Steve's bachelor party, and the entire inside had rats. And there was rat shit everywhere, and they got insanely sick
Wow.
from inhaling the fumes from the rat shit.
Ugh.
How disgusting! And it was a huge fight with Airbnb. I don't know if it was Airbnb or the other companies. It was
Yeah.
Vrbo and whatever to get the money back. There was a crazy fight. They were like, "Nope, absolutely not."
Well, don't do Vrbo.
Well, we did a home away for a long time. My mom would do that for like full homes, and that became Vrbo.
Yeah.
But it's usually was for way bigger places.
Yeah.
Like it was more tailored towards.
Oh, I'm thinking of VBRO, not VRBO.
Oh, maybe I don't-
Vrbo's fine.
Yeah,
Don't do Vibro.
Vibro.
Yeah, very beautiful, but rats
All over the place.
All over the place. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. That's actually, it's funny because I don't know that whole story. He was texting me while it was happening, and now I kind of am like, I don't think I got the resolution. They were like, Steve's on his deathbed. Like, it was bad.
He's still there.
Yeah.
Oh no,
was
he's
dead for a
got
long
got weird little pustule bubbles all
Yeah.
over the place.
Yeah. That's fucking.
His front teeth have elongated. He
Oh, I was going for the bubonic plague.
Oh, I was, going
for
with
the
he's
Black
turning
Death.
into a rat.
He's
Yeah.
a rat man.
Yeah.
You were going for a real plague thing. Rat man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
that's fair.
Rat
That
man's
is fair.
feathers.
I don't know. Ratman Carruthers? I don't know what just happened. Hello, lovely viewer listeners. We are just cutting into this episode very quickly to talk about today's sponsor, Narragansett Beer.
Wow.
Yeah, they're fantastic. They're a company based right here in Rhode Island, but nationally available. And they're a wonderful beer company, truly. One of the oldest in the country.
Yes.
That's
Yep.
very exciting. And they asked me to read this new piece of information. Let me turn this on so it looks real.
Good thinking.
This is interesting. They want to wade into the goings on. They want to tap into the zeitgeist.
Oh
Apparently.
yeah, of course.
So,
Yeah, you want to stay current.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, the new copy that we have here. Here at Narragansett Beer, we also want to talk about politics. So the following beliefs are held by Narragansett Beer and Narragansett Beer alone. Trans people.
Maybe just stop right
yeah,
there.
I don't know if.
It says they're cool. They're cool.
Yeah. Oh,
They're cool with it.
It just feels like it's not for us to say what Narragansett beer
yeah,
feels
we don't know
about something.
Well, we're not sure if that's really meant for public consumption. Maybe.
Okay.
Maybe this is just like an email that.
Well, I don't think you should say a phrase like that when we're talking about a thing that you can drink or eat. If it's fit for public consumption.
Maybe if people want to go to narragansettbeer.com, they can look up more about the company and what
Yeah.
they feel, or Gansett Beer on Instagram.
Okay, I guess they could. Yeah, all right. I mean,
they
they
could do
did
that.
say they said specifically that Fun Bearable is really close to fitting what their political beliefs
Oh
are.
boy.
Oh, good.
And that's why they wanted us to. I mean, all right, yeah. So, I guess no matter what you feel, think, or believe, Narragansett Beer is probably right for you.
Exactly.
Probably,
See,
yeah,
that's the way to go.
Probably.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll send a message back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was bold lettering in some of it. Should I at least read the red ink?
Were there skull emojis?
I just make sure it's turned on so it looks real. Yeah.
Oh, they have like the black thumbs up.
Oh,
Well, that's probably good.
yeah, I don't know.
Nah, hold on. There's a taco emoji.
Okay.
I mean, it probably goes well with tacos.
Okay. The squirt gun so many times. I don't know what that is.
We'll talk about this off air.
They're squirting hot sauce
And
on the
then
tacos.
this one's eggplant, and then the 3 water droplets, water droplets, water droplets.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's-
Oh
that-
no, this is sorry. That's not from the press release. That's just the conversation I was having with the
okay.
Narragansett rep.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Cam.
That makes
He
sense.
likes emojis.
He uses a lot of
Loves
them.
them.
I don't know if he knows how to spell.
He also likes sending pics. I'll just say.
Yeah, he sure does.
He likes sending them, getting them. He loves pics.
He loves
Can't get
pics.
enough.
He loves pigs. He's a pick pig.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
Thank you so much to Narragansett Beer for sponsoring this episode of Fun Bearable. We truly appreciate it and hope people check it out.
I'm just going to read the red part real quick.
Okay.
The Catholic Church. Sometimes we do batches of recording here, right?
Yeah.
And here's what I think is interesting. normally you would think, oh, if you're going to record multiple episodes, towards the end, it's all over the place. It's sloppy. It's crazy. You know, it's hard to do the thing you're doing.
Yeah.
I find it's the other way for me.
Sometimes-
I find the first one,
Start.
I'm struggling to like get going. You know what I mean?
You know what I think? I think when we pull back the curtain. We haven't pulled back the curtain in a while.
That's true.
We've kept it closed for a good long while.
Yeah.
I want to pull it back.
Is it tidy back there?
I'm gonna throw something out to the table. I want to see if you agree with me. If you
Lot
think
of
I'm
rats.
nuts,
Lot of
tell me
rats
I'm a
back there.
scat man, Carruthers.
Yeah.
So during the holidays, our episodes become very scheduled.
yes.
Because we came up with all these ideas.
Yeah.
And we have to go. We got to do the franchise flashback. We got to find a Christmas thing. We're doing pitch for Christmas. We're
Yeah.
doing this.
We're doing this for Halloween and this for Halloween.
and this
you
for
know.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah,
Gibby.
right.
So I think I would say we start thinking about this last week of August,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and then it lasts. So I think what happens every year is around this time we'll kind of just be like, oh yeah, we're getting back into podcasting without any plan.
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we go from extreme plans to zero plans. And then we kind of eventually get back to the middle where we're like, all right, we'll meet up next week. We'll do one that's kind of like this. Oh, maybe we'll do a pitch doctors. We'll do a whatever.
Yeah.
But here we kind of get together. We're like, oh, we've done so much segmented stuff. We'll just get in. And we just go like, I saw a movie about ping pong. I went to this thing. I did this. And we just kind of jump around with zero target.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that's exactly what we're in right now.
And I think we've gotten comfortable with you know the riffiness of the podcast
Yeah.
and being able to bounce around because we do often find so many silly things that we had
Exactly.
no intention of talking
Right.
about. But that creates a weird, like, it's almost like we become our own worst enemy because we're like, no, because we riff, we find it. You know what I mean? Yeah. There have been so many times where a comic will come up to me either after a show or during the show when I'm in the back of the room, whatever it
Yeah.
is, and say something about how I like to riff and you know, it'll be fine, right? And there is a part of me where I'm like, no, that's not good. You know what I mean? That's not a good thing. I remember back, man, I went to LA with Doug Key, Derek Furtado, and Corey Brailsford,
Yes.
the owner
Yeah.
of the Comedy Connection, because we did a short film for this contest thing,
Yes.
right? And we won for Rhode Island. We had to go out to LA. And when we went out, the festival asked me to MC like the awards ceremony that they do. And I said, sure. And they said, and like an award ceremony, you can do like a 5-minute monologue up
Nice.
front.
Yeah.
And I went, great. And I told the guys, and we were all on the same page of like, we will work on this while we're out there.
Oh,
right.
yeah.
We'll see some of how this festival goes, and you know, we'll shoot it back and forth, and
Yeah.
we'll kind of create this. And it felt like we're going to do our own little Oscars monologue, you
Yes.
know. And then cut to the night before the thing, and we're in an Airbnb, and I'm like, I don't have anything. Right.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this. I
Yeah.
have no idea what I'm going to do. And Doug said, yeah, but that's fine because you go up, you riff and play, and it's going to kill, and you know it's going to work. And I said, like, it's an insane thing that you just said that.
Yeah.
You have just put an insane amount of pressure on a thing I literally have no control over. Right?
Yeah. You know what's so funny? Don't you find that to be insane and also somewhat true?
I was frustrated. Like, I went and I did it. And it went the way Doug said it would.
Exactly.
And I was kind of mad about
Yeah.
it. Where I was just like, yeah, okay, fine. I did very well, but what the fuck?
Yeah.
Pulling back the curtain.
Oh.
Sometimes when we do our live shows,
We got to wash that curtain, by the way.
I'll be like, oh, we should come up with an intro for this. We'll write this, and you'll be like, no, we'll just go up there and we'll kind of talk it out. We'll joke
Yeah.
around. And it'll be fine.
We'll have the bullet points and then we can play.
and
yeah.
and that's a similar version of it, and it has pretty much always worked out. pretty
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
So yeah, I
there
know.
was that one time where we were taking questions from the audience.
Yeah.
And somebody brought up Israel Palestine.
Right.
And you and I think, Chuck and you and I, we were tasteful about kind of stepping away from it.
Right.
You know, we're like, let's make space for it.
Right.
But we're here to listen.
Right.
Brad took it as we're here to listen to Brad.
Yes.
Well, he had that pull down map.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then it was all the different through the years, the histories. He had
Yeah.
that pointer.
I'll-
And by the way, the pointer had a skull on it. I didn't like that.
I didn't like that at all.
I'll make a confession right now. That was a plant in the audience.
Really?
Yeah. I had
Oh.
it set up. I was so excited to talk about my understanding of conflicts in the Middle East.
You've said many times that that they should rename part of the area as the Gulf of Israel. What? That's really strange.
Yep.
The Gulf of Israel.
Yeah, it was the dry part, which
Yeah.
you know, I just wanted something different, something new, something exciting.
Don't get me started on Red, White, and Bradland. I don't want to talk about that.
Oh, your new book, I'm Brad as hell.
But yeah, so it's funny. So we kind of float. We float back to it.
Yeah.
And bringing up your company,
My company.
Yes.
Please,
Yeah.
we weren't going to talk about this. I have started a new company.
Raised skull pointers.
Yes. Well, we do have those on the site as a gag.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning really into kind of boutique, handmade erectile dysfunction medication. We've
Right.
talked about this a little bit.
Medication.
Yeah.
And I think it's a fun idea.
Yeah.
I think it's fun too. I don't know if people. It's because you said it's like Play-Doh, right?
There's a couple of different versions, but that is one that we are working on.
And you said it smells like and tastes like Play-Doh.
Yes.
And you're storing it in
Play-Doh.
containers.
Play-Doh containers. Yeah.
And what's the product called?
Play-Doh.
I was like, please say Play-Doh.
Because you take the dough to play.
Oh.
Yeah.
Take the dough.
Yeah.
Okay, this is gross.
Do the dough. Is
Do
what
the yeah.
I have
yeah.
do the dough.
Right.
I'm already in court.
In court for so many
I know.
reasons.
But hey, I think a person has lived a full life when they
Yes.
are sued by Mountain Dew.
Yep.
When they are sent to cease and desist by
Yes.
Mountain Dew.
I agree.
I like the idea you're in the court and you finish your Mountain Dew testimony and then you walk next door and it's the Play-Doh company.
I'm like, oh,
and then you walk next door and it's the FDA. Like,
yeah.
It's just these bigger and bigger eye rolls.
Oh my god, I can't deal with that. I just got a new cease and desist from
good.
Monster Energy because I said these give your Monster energy.
oh,
It's a lot.
Yeah.
These give is really small. You need like a mic. Like
The
Yeah.
yeah,
text, yeah, the font.
Well, the things are small.
Okay, that's right.
Those are the tiny ones.
yeah,
yeah,
right.
yeah.
Yeah, the chiclet ones.
Yeah.
I mean, plus the
Tic Tac.
lawsuit of the family who bought it and then stored it next to their children's Play-Doh. But really,
Yeah, that
that's
wasn't
their
great.
fault.
Yeah, but those kids were fucking.
Yeah.
No, that was the whole sentence.
Yeah.
Those kids were fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna bring up the fact that thing you talked about with Doug ended up as a scene in Undependent.
It did. Yes.
And I still want to do a thing with Undependent on Fun Bearable. Like I don't know if it's
Yeah.
like a watch thing or what, but I would love to do that.
Yeah.
But and that kind of ties into what I was gonna say, which is now we're kind of back in that time where I think we're gonna start figuring out the episodes a little bit more clearly.
Yeah.
As opposed to being like, let's just meet up. We got 5 hours. Let's see what happens on Mike.
Yeah.
And get back into figuring some stuff out.
Oh, absolutely.
Because there's a I think the holidays are the most regimented, and then the post holidays are the least, and then it's like get
I
back
think
to
that's
the
I think
middle.
that's life though.
think so, too.
I think that's a life thing for sure.
That's
Because we're in
actually-
that place. I think winter often now for me. Maybe it's because I'm a parent. I don't know. But I think a lot of post holiday winter for me is like. I think my wife and I kind of see it as like we're getting through this period. And then once spring comes, it's like, oh, okay, now life is happening
Yeah.
again. You know what I mean?
completely agree. I feel like this has happened to me for the past several years too. It's like every January and February, you're like, life is bleak, life is bad, life is dark, and like at some point things start rolling, and it goes all the way to January.
Yeah.
It's almost like your schedule gets too full, and it
Yeah.
just lasts until that.
And it's so weird that you just said that exact phrase because that's in some of the ad copy for my Play-Doh.
Right.
My
Play-Doh.
my ED stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the one I'm focusing on right now.
yeah.
Life is bleak. Life is dark. Play-Doh.
You know? Then you just kind of roll it and
Yeah.
go from there.
It's
Yeah.
a cool shot because it's in some magazines now.
Yeah.
Stuff magazine.
Yeah.
Maxim said no.
Weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But Stuff was like, yes, please, thank you very much.
They said we're desperate in the email, right?
Yeah. Mad Magazine said yes.
Wow.
To digital only.
Right.
They
Yeah, well,
won't-
still.
but I the whole ad you have to fold it.
Unfold it. Oh.
Oh, I understand.
Speaking of other names that I've had for some of these ED medications,
course,
and
yes.
which also we do need to have that meeting that you guys have moved many times about potential sponsorship for Fun Bearable.
Yeah, it's just scheduling. Whew.
Well, I think Do the Dough
Yep.
is a good sponsor for the podcast. It's in great company. Narragansett, have a Gansett, Do the Dough.
Oh, I thought you said there were terrible side effects when you drink alcohol with your ED medication.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I was
yeah.
gonna.
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Okay, so then Do the Dough, then have a Gansett.
right.
Yeah, just
or have a Gansett, and 12 hours later, do the dough.
Right.
There's that.
Yes.
Yes.
Speaking of, one of the other names that I was working on, there were a couple of names, and ironically, there are things that Brad has to deal with today because of his car situation. When your engine won't turn over, do the dough. When your battery's dead, do the dough.
Yep.
You have to. In between recording, you did say you have to teach me how to use Uber.
I did say that.
And yeah, so to finish the joke real quick, Uber and Lyft are both names that I've been toying with for my erectile dysfunction medication. I think they're both good names for that. I'm already waiting for the cease and desist from
Yep.
both.
Yeah.
Lyft.
Yep.
I think that works.
Yep.
But
Right?
but we were hoping because Uber, you told me is OO,
Yeah, Uber.
but it's OOOOBER, right?
Yeah.
4 O's.
4 O's.
Okay. Uber. It's like that.
Yeah.
You hit the nail on the head. And I'm trying to get Bill Burr to be the spokesperson. Because I think
Burr.
an angry Boston like bald boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
on.
Right. I think that's what works.
Yeah.
That's what works for that.
Well, it's a good metaphor for what you're looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you got to put a little more pep in the step of this Quincy man.
little pushy,
Yeah.
little irritated.
Wearing a scully cap. Scally cap?
I say scally, but I don't know if it's right.
I don't know either. Scally seems weird. It's like scallions.
Yeah. Ooh, I'd love a scallion cap.
Ooh, a scallion cap.
Yeah, we're gonna get the
Oh.
pizza and the scallion cap. You know what I mean? I like that. It's fun.
But Brad, you have to. So you're gonna have to do some ride share.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to do
apping.
some ride share today.
Is this your first time using it?
No, I've used it, but very infrequently.
Why do
Okay.
we treat him like a 90-year-old man?
I mean,
If the orthopedic shoe fits.
have you thought about maybe reaching out to some of the senior centers because they have those like buses that they can take you around?
Yeah, but they
on.
don't like to drive at night.
But they'll go to your appointments.
Yes.
They'll go to your
true.
appointments.
I do have, I know. I have
Thursdays they go to Friendlies.
I have to get to improv tonight, and I was like, oh, let me check the price of what it'll be. And I have a price, but I never typed in the address of where I'm going.
I don't understand how that could
So I
possibly
I don't
what
know
are you
how it
talking
happened.
about?
So the only thing I can think is that my most recent trip, which was to the train station before I visited Chuck forever ago, was still in there as the destination.
Okay.
And so maybe that's why it said it was an absurd $23. And Kismet.
Plus tip.
Yeah. Ugh.
Oh
Yeah.
no! I just
Yeah,
ruined
right.
Brad's day.
Yeah, right. Plus tip.
For what? They didn't even stand up.
Yeah.
And he gets out of the car and he goes, "Oh, and I'll send you a tip in a minute."
As he runs away. Oh, I left my backpack in there.
Yeah.
The
Oh,
idea of it. I do think it's funny if you think about it. We talked about Airbnb.
yep.
Which I don't think Airbnb is probably thrilled with some of the stuff we were talking about.
Well,
But if you think about it, Lyft and Uber are the Airbnb of cars.
yes.
They are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
this
no,
is-
because you don't get to be in. No.
Well,
Well,
when
there's
you
a driver.
when you were mentioning it earlier, and you were like the shitification of the app.
Yeah.
I'm like, I do think whenever there's a new thing, they make the value great at first.
Oh, yeah.
And then they slowly get shittier.
Yeah.
And I
That's
think
the definition of the enshittification.
Yeah.
What will happen is a product will come out, a product or service, usually a service, because now you can introduce a new middleman to a service that didn't have one, right?
Exactly.
You do that, you create very low prices, so the existing thing cannot compete with it.
Right.
Once they're gone, you now own the marketplace, and then you start jacking it up, and
Yep.
you start pulling more out, and yeah, it's awful.
I think the Airbnb. Oh shit! I hope they don't see this. I think the Airbnb.
For the listener, Chuck just like put his hand up in front of the camera as if it was like a paparazzo,
Yeah.
right? Like, oh no pictures.
I think that it's worse with Airbnb and
Craig, blur his face and change his voice.
yeah, change.
I think that Airbnb is a real problem because
Well, it's worse because there's the consumer end, but the employee
Oh
end
yeah, that's where they
is,
start fucking people over first.
is people deciding to use their own stuff and working for them.
Yeah.
like that. So it's
It
like
sucks.
it's even worse. I think possibly.
It's hellscape territory. It really is.
yeah.
It really, really is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
bad
But
news.
thanks to Daddy Trump being in office,
Uh-huh.
we're finally going to get rid of this pesky regulation over these drivers, right?
Yep.
If a driver wants to be awake for 36 hours and drive me to the airport, then they should be allowed to do that because this is America,
Yep.
right?
That's how Tracy Morgan almost died, right? The Walmart truck driver was up for like a day and a half or
That's
something.
right, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's fun.
Is it fun?
That's gonna create some interesting moments.
Oh, sure. Yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I guess it's like that New Girl quote. There's a line in that show that I still remember to this day when I can't remember his character's name. The guy, whatever.
There was a Nick. There was a Winston, a coach.
and then the other one.
Yeah.
The main love interest fellow there. Very funny.
Yeah.
This is not part of the. This isn't germane. But he's dating his boss, and somebody says, "You know, this will end bad," and he goes, "Oh yeah, it's going to end terrible, but the middle part is going to be fun."
That's
and
great.
I love that line. Yeah, and I
That's-
think that's what this is.
Yeah.
I think that's what like 2024 has created, and we're going to have this time where like, oh yeah, we know this ends bad,
Yeah.
but it's going to be pretty crazy.
That's absolutely true. Speaking of New Girl, so my girlfriend is going to possibly move here very soon. She gave them an ultimatum. And I realized one of the things I'm most excited for is getting back into like watching scheduled television.
Yeah. Wow.
Like we were just talking about SNL and you watched it with Kalina.
Yeah.
And it's so hard for me to do that completely alone and just sit down in my apartment and be like, I'm going to watch an hour and a half of SNL.
Yeah.
But when I have my significant other there, like I'm going to be watching Severance. I'm going to be watching Last of Us season 2. I want to start. She wants me to watch all of Buffy. She loves
I'm
Buffy.
a proponent.
Yeah.
Is it good? Do you think it's good?
Yeah.
Wow, he loves it.
Yeah. It's great.
I didn't know that you liked it.
Here's what's funny. With Buffy, I didn't watch it when it was airing. Right. I think I just saw that as something else. I looked at it as like, oh, that's a WB type show.
Right. Okay.
I'm not into that. For whatever reason, I put it in the camp of like a Dawson's Creek. Right. But that's what I knew. I was in high school, and that's what's coming out.
Honestly, I probably think of it sort of similar, but continue. I want to hear what you actually
It's
think.
not. It really isn't. And I ended up watching the show as a full-grown adult man. This was in like 2013, 2012
Okay. Yeah.
that I watched Buffy. I was
Yeah.
like, I haven't seen this, and I watched it. The first season is a little like what I thought the show would be.
Everyone says that, yeah.
Yeah, and then it goes, and as much as it sucks what Joss Whedon is, it is undeniable his impact on like fun movies and TV.
Yeah.
right,
That's
just like fun stuff.
Identical to what Natalie said recently.
Oh yeah,
She goes, it really sucks that like Joss Whedon is not a great guy because I think he was instrumental in what made that show great.
100%. Yeah. No,
Damn.
his thing went on to inform so much of pop culture. Like basically anytime you have a group of characters together,
Yeah.
you get like Whedon-esque dialogue and
Right.
stuff like that. When it's done well, it's very, very good. When it's done badly, then it's just like reference culture. You know what I mean?
Sure,
It's
sure,
that
sure.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
But Buffy's great. Yeah.
Man, I'm excited for that.
That first college season was weird though.
Yeah.
I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be like I'm pretty open in general, but
Yeah.
like she's like I really would love you to watch it. She's like it's my favorite show, and so I'm excited. I'm down to do it, man.
Hell yeah.
And I think what's gonna be fun is the tit for tat aspect because I get to make her watch a show.
What are you gonna go with?
Well, when she first came over, I showed her Nathan For You.
Okay.
And she fucking fell in love. She was
course.
like, this show is
Yeah.
amazing. And she went back to Colorado and she binged all of Nathan For You and all of The Rehearsal and loved it. And now Rehearsal season 2 is announced.
Yeah.
So we're going to watch that.
Did she text you at any point going, where are the vampires? Yeah. I don't get it. There's no vampires here.
She's like, it's a long lead up, but it's paying. It's going to pay off big.
Are
I
you
can tell.
sure?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Keep
Are you
watching.
sure? Yeah, man, it really is a shame that Whedon, is who he is because I think about the shows that he produced at that time, and was writing for and stuff like that. They were so good. Even Dollhouse was good.
Well, it's crazy because like he's very responsible for the tone of the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
But what people don't realize that came out in the same year is such a different project and it's amazing is Cabin in the Woods.
Sure, yeah.
And I'm like, both of these, obviously there's a lot of other people that are part of it, but they're both such awesome versions of what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
And so what he's like a dickhead, right? Is that basically mostly what
He's a
it
piece
is?
of shit.
He's a piece of shit on
Yeah.
set. He like, treats people poorly, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember exactly what it was. Like, I don't know
Yeah.
if Allison Hannigan came out and was like, he yelled at me or something. Like, I think it's like,
I don't think it was. I think
He's shitty.
he did shitty things, had shitty views,
and he
and
treated
is
people really poorly.
misogynist.
Yeah, right. That's what yeah.
Yeah. But let's not talk about him when he's in the room.
Is he? He's directing Fun Bearable.
And
just
even
see-
he'd be like, enough references, please.
He slaps Brad in the head once in a while.
Go back to talking about Garfield potentially being racist about cats. Yeah. But you're gonna go in this ride share.
Yes.
Are you
Strangers.
slightly stressed?
He's scared.
I am slightly stressed. But I'm slightly, not necessarily because of being in a stranger's car.
Okay.
But I'm slightly stressed about the whole situation. And this is a part of it where right now, hours before I have to leave, I'm like, all right, well, I want to make sure I get there on time, coach an improv practice. And then it's like, well, what if I can't find a ride home at 9 p.m. on a Monday? I'm like, how do I get home? Do I just spend the night at improv? Like, what's Rosie going to do? Now, this is irrational.
Real quick.
Yes.
Just because we're in it.
Yes.
We were just talking about Whedon.
Yes.
And his problems.
Right.
You have the power dynamic as the coach.
Yes.
You're with your whistle, your improv whistle.
Yes.
Your improv
Yeah.
clipboard.
Well, it's all mimed.
Oh yeah. Great physical work.
Thank you.
Oops, wrong whistle.
That was a dog one. I'm so sorry.
Dog rape.
Dog rape. Oh no. That whistle's weird.
Yep.
I don't even know if it works. I really don't want to ever have to find out.
The post-credit scene. He walks outside. What the hell? Get off her.
Oh no, this is the marching band one. Oh no.
Dun, 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 dun.
It's all dogs. It's all dogs.
They think we're celebrating this.
Could you
Yep.
use your power to get a ride home
I don't
from one of your underlings?
I don't think any of them live near enough to where I live that I would be comfortable asking.
You got to embrace.
I'm on
your
I'm
weed.
on the wrong side of the bridge.
Yeah.
Turn your weed into a weed out. You got to let it out.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
You're gonna become the Whedon.
Okay.
You got to joss this.
Yes.
Think about the final product. It's all about the
Me
final
getting
product.
home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you walk in the door having abused your power,
Yes.
I think you will be like filled with a confidence that you've never felt before.
I've had such little power in my life, and what I've had, I've definitely abused. So that's why I've continued to
You've
have.
beeped it pretty hard.
Yes.
He gave himself like an extra discount at Walgreens for the deodorant.
No.
Remember that? That
Oh
was a
no.
big one.
Oh no. I would never do that.
No?
We got 15% off, and that was it.
Okay.
But if we were clearancing things out, yeah, maybe a bag of Christmas Rolos falls behind something else, and we don't notice it until it goes 90% off
That's his choice.
instead
That's
of
his
50%. Christmas Rolos. Yeah.
What is it? Just the foil?
Yes.
It's just the foil. It's just the foil. Man, Rolo must hate Reese's.
Yes.
Like, man, they get to make all these shapes, and
Right.
we're just stuck
yeah.
with
Where's
these.
our Rolo eggs?
Oh, I got so many thoughts about Reese's.
Yeah.
Well, it's just how did they?
Well, it's just one.
Well, though it's just like they took the peanut butter cup, which is arguably the best candy.
Yeah.
And when I say arguably, I mean like there's polls, and it's like the
Oh, it
best,
wins. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And they, you famously have a bit about the Reese's Easter egg, and they did those variations like they're almost not even variations for a while. And now they're like, but what if we did 60 million?
I have been talking about this on stage
Yeah.
recently.
Really?
Whenever I do the candy bit,
Yeah.
with the Reese's egg, I start talking about this aspect of it because it has become insane. Where it's like, here's all these different versions. We're putting different things in
Yep.
the cups now, and I say on stage that it's like Mr. Reese has dementia. no one in the company has the heart to tell him no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're letting him go through the factory, and he's pulling levers and he's punching shit in, and he's just insane now. And he's like, we're gonna put other Reese's inside the Reese's, like a little incest cup, and we're gonna do it that way. And they're like, we can't tell him.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody has the heart to tell like zany Professor Reese to stop putting pretzels in it. You know
That's
what I mean?
great.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah, no, it's crazy. I think Oreo is going through the same thing.
Oh, Oreo is like, Oreo's genuinely like,
Yeah.
do you want this? Do you want this? Fine, you can have it.
Yep.
Oh yeah,
Oh boy.
it's good stuff.
Yeah. Can you give yourself, Brad,
Yes.
when you take this ride, are you doing Uber or Lyft?
Whichever one is less expensive.
Okay. Can you give yourself like a
5-star rating. Yes.
no, I mean like a little pep talk or something before you take the ride.
I will likely have to. In terms of like, hey, it's an 11-minute ride. Mm-hmm. Just just deal with it. And truthfully, the experiences I've had with ride sharing, universally positive. I've never had somebody whose like car is bad or whose personality is bad. Like, if they want to chit chat away at me, fine.
And you agree with a lot of the opinions that cab drivers
Yes.
like to tell people.
Yes, of
Yeah.
course. Yes. All of them. All of the, I just agree. I'm a blank slate when I get into a taxi cab.
Yeah.
The last cab I was in, the guy was like, Gulf of Israel. Right?
And I'm like, gold.
Yeah.
Olay.
Yes. And so when I get out, I just espouse whatever political beliefs I've heard the most recently.
I think you should, to make yourself feel safe in this situation,
Okay.
perhaps call one of us and we can stay on the phone with you until you get through.
Yeah.
I feel like one of the, I'm sure there are many murder books / movies of somebody gets into a car and then they're like held hostage. I have a scene of like she goes to pull the thing up and it's like razor blades and she cuts her fingers on it.
Oh,
it was
I don't know that.
It was
It was like I think the girl went to
like-
go unlock the
Yeah.
door.
yeah,
and he
it
had
was like
replaced the door
along
lock
came a
thing with
spider
razor
or
blades.
something like that. And I'm like, well, that's going to happen to me tonight. And my
I don't
improv
think so.
team is not going to know
What to do?
what to do. They're going to get there and they're going to be like, do we
No, but
do we script something?
yeah.
No, we'll be fine. Everyone will be fine. I just it's really not having my car means I am dependent on other.
The elements.
I hate it. I hate it.
Elements.
Yes.
Yeah.
I really don't like it. Like Kalina's car, my wife's car, died
Yep.
a few months ago. I think it was in December, and we had to share my car for a period of time. And
Yep.
she had approached it like, it's fine. We'll figure it out. It's
Yeah.
no big deal. And I was like, this is a big deal,
Yeah.
right? Because as soon as she said that, she was like, it's going to be fine. I was leaving for a show. And so the entire drive to that show, I'm like dealing with ride stuff. Like I was talking to you guys about it
Yep.
because we were going to record. I had a show on a day where my son had basketball practice like at the same time.
Yep.
And Kalina had said like, oh, it's fine. We'll Uber to the thing. And I was like, I don't want my wife and child Ubering to a basketball practice
Yep.
because I have the car going to a show. I will figure this out. And I
I
got a
understand.
ride. But it is that feeling, right? I don't like that's it's like the Wild West or the Old West times where it's like you had your horse. You need your horse.
Yep.
I kind of go through this a lot in New York where I'm just like, there's a lot of times where like I could choose to kind of like I'll take a subway to here and a bus to here and a subway to here, or I could get an Uber. And I'm just like, I want to have my car though, because it's just so much more freedom.
Yeah,
You know what I
I
mean?
feel that way traveling for comedy.
Yeah.
Like I try to get a rental car every time.
Yeah.
Truly. And I know guys that don't do it at all and they just rely on the rides and stuff like that. I wish I had the constitution to do that. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? I am like, no, I want my
I know.
like if I want to go get this or get that, like I also don't eat fast food
Yep.
or things like that. So after a show, if I'm just at the whims of whoever and they're like, I'm going to go through the Taco Bell drive-through, I'm like, that's cool. I was going to go to that grocery store. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
of course.
it's weird stuff. When I was in Colorado, I didn't have a car. I didn't like not having the car.
Yep.
I know.
I didn't really get to do anything.
Yeah,
you
I know. I remember that whole thing.
Yeah. So yeah, rent it.
I did my first Lyft with an extra stop recently.
Ooh.
I was like, I got to go to Starbucks. And the guy went, all right. And I was like, how does this work? Because I have no idea. I
Yeah,
never really
yeah.
did it. They give you 5 minutes. So
Really?
which is not bad.
No, that's not bad at all.
So like if you did like, let's say you were like, I'm gonna go from the venue to the hotel and I'm gonna add a stop at a grocery store. You could just go in for 5 minutes, or if you were like, I'm gonna go from the hotel to the show and I want to stop and get a coffee, you could just order the coffee and it takes
Yeah.
2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pretty
that's
good.
a good call.
They're making it easier.
I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
I've known this guy. I'm so close to him for so long that the fact that he doesn't know what's wrong with his car,
Yes.
that he can't drive,
Yeah.
that he has to depend on ride shares, that he has responsibilities
That's
he has
rough.
to do.
That's
like
rough.
right now, this guy is
Seething.
He's-
I am seething.
Well, he's like on the edge of an emotional breakdown at any moment.
Yes.
I know you are.
That's correct.
Speaking of previously with Play-Doh,
Yeah.
right? It's very much like a Play-Doh factory for you. Like you are so tense right now. It'll come out like a star.
Yes, it will. Yes, it will. If it comes out, at all.
If it comes out.
If
at
it comes
all.
out at all.
I'm pushing. It's just nothing's happened. Oh, I broke it.
Yep.
Wow, I love the idea of different shaped anuses making like
I
a
know you
thing.
do.
That's fun.
I know you do.
Yeah. Wow. If we could get enough of them together and they do letters, we could write somebody a shitty letter. You know what I mean? Oh,
Yeah.
that's the low point. That's the absolute
that's the
low.
enshittification of this episode.
Yeah, and that's the Fun Bearable guarantee. You
Yes.
will get highs and you will get legitimate lows.
Low,
Yes.
low.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah,
I like the Play-Doh thing too.
Well, I feel pretty good about stopping where we're at,
same.
so that I can.
This is like a therapy session.
Yes.
right.
So that I can go biff a yeet.
Oh God,
No cap.
It's coming out as a star.
At this point, like we can't tell if he's talking about masturbating or shitting.
Yeah. Biff a yeet, no cap is what you just said.
Oh, I'm sorry that I wanted our podcast to skew younger.
Yeah, all right.
But you don't know what they mean. This is your erotic novel all over again.
Come on, beat my fob.
And then
I am all over the place.
and then who's Olivia Rodrigo
Yeah.
biffed his yeet, no cap. Take the fire.
Caught out in 4K.
Fire AF.
Yeah.
My penis was fire AF.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry for everybody
Yes.
watching and listening.
Well, everybody watching and listening, just wanted to let you know we do appreciate you. Thank you so much. Send us an email, funbearablepod@gmail.com, or find us on socials at funbearablepod. If you want to give us a follow or a ranking on whatever podcast platform you use.
And give us 5 stars on Uber.
Yeah.
That's true.
Please.
Give me 5 stars on Uber so that I get a better driver. That's how it works, right?
Yeah, I think
The
so.
best passengers get the best drivers.
Yeah.
It's not how it works, but it should be.
How?
And vice versa.
One last question.
Yes,
All
of
right.
course.
If you ride in this ride share, and the person rates you 1 star as a passenger, how would that affect you? Realistically,
I notice it today? I notice
yeah,
it
you
like
notice it?
immediately.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's just how today's going.
My prediction, if you were to get that, you then take Ubers every day until you
It's
get
like,
that person again.
Hey, what did I do wrong? I just want to let you know I'm sorry.
Yeah. And you're like, I'm going to be the best little boy in the
Yep.
back seat I can possibly be.
Hey, I brought
you get
bow
him
tie.
coffee.
I brought my own hand vacuums.
Yeah, I'm cleaning your car.
Yeah.
Please.
My propeller beanie.
The last thing I want to say is the rideshare thing at like alternatives. I remember being in Alaska in that crazy Alaska run.
Yes.
And having hours, like count on your hand hours.
Yep.
In Juneau before I had to take that crazy tiny mail plane out
Yes.
to Skagway. And it was raining. And I was like, what's open? I wanted to get, I'm sorry, cigarettes.
Yep.
And it was raining, and I was like, where can I go? And they were like, it's a mile down the road. And I was like, I don't want to walk in the pouring rain, like, to go do this. And I said, like, do you guys have a shuttle thing, right? And they were like, yeah. And I was like, could the shuttle guy, I'll tip him, like,
Yeah.
I'll pay the guy, you know what I mean? And the gentleman came, and I think I talked about this on the podcast, but he came out and was like, sorry, I'm late. There was something in my eye, right? Like,
Yes,
he was an
yes.
adorable man.
Yeah.
But that conversation in that car was stellar. I love the guy. It was a fun moment. So maybe you'll find your own
I hope
something
that-
in
I
my
hope
eye.
there's
guy.
something in
Good
his
ones to
eye.
do sometimes. It's fun.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Nice. Well, thank you all so much. We appreciate it. Yeah, that's all I've got. And we're sorry for being fun bearable.
I like that this episode, in a way, felt like, because this was Lucy and Goosey, but we acknowledged it, and we did talk about how we're going to do better. So it does feel like this episode was the Domino's ad campaign of like, we're better now.
Oh, yeah.
Our sauce was so bad.
Yeah. And
Remember
now
that
our
guy?
sauce is good.
I'm so sorry about the sauce. It was so long.
Yeah.
It's better. It's better now. That's what a campaign. It's better now.
Yeah.
Burger King did that too with their fries, right?
Did
Yes.
That's a tough move.
they? Yeah.
It's a tough move to be
So,
like, we've
look-
been bad for a long time.
Yeah. We've been selling you bullshit, and we knew it. So now we will attempt to improve it slightly.
Only slightly.
Only slightly, and only because we found out it's actually cheaper to do it this way.
Yes.
Yeah.
We found out we've been using stuff that was not tomatoes for our sauce.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was cheap.
Yep.
And now it's cheaper to use tomatoes.
Yeah.
Yes, I like that. I
Yeah.
still don't like Domino's.
Oh, no. No. I grew up like on Domino's. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Papa Gino's, baby.
I remember when Papa Gino started, it was like, ooh, fancy. You know?
Yeah.
I'll eat them all.
High class.
Ooh, that's like a threat. Like
Yeah.
you just sent a letter with cutout
Yep.
letters in it.
I'll eat 'em all.
eat them all. Yeah.
Try to find a button. I'm thinking.
Only zippers. No buttons, only zippers. But we're gonna make a concerted effort to be better.
Yeah.
I think.
I
right?
think that's good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. I think we need to put a little bit more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. It's the goose months.
Yeah, and I think the start is having a good, strong, multi-sponsor kind of situation.
Right.
Can't do Play-Doh. We can't do
I'm-
Do my other ones.
I've been
7
open-
Up. Because it's up for 7 hours. That's the whole thing.
not
Right now,
healthy.
I'm struggling to get the timing right. Because everybody weighs different weights.
Yep.
Yeah.
So it's hard.
the
you know?
amount you have to take in. Yeah.
Dr. Pepper. It's all sodas. Sunkist. Because it gives you a tan at the same time.
Oh, I could use that.
Mellow Yellow doesn't work.
Go from Play-Doh to all sodas.
I don't know because I can't think of anything else right now. I cannot do it. What, Snyder's pretzels? That's not going to work.
I know.
Captain Crunch.
Ooh. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Cocoa Puffs.
All right. Stop recording because I want to write these things down.
Okay.